Hello and welcome back to Learn with AP Mom. In this video, I'm going to introduce the past perfect tense. This tense used to describe an action that took place at the specific time in the past. This tense can be a little tricky, but don't worry. I'm going to guide you and help you by giving more examples. So let us jump in. First, let us take a look at the first usage of the past perfect tense. This tense is used to describe an action in the past that happened before another action in the past. Here are some examples. The first one, I had visited China before I moved there. No matter what the subject is, you have to follow with had. I had, Anil had, the Blaine had, and we had. And then we follow with the past participle of the verb. Look at the first one. I had visited China. Notice that the second verb in the past simple tense is I moved there. The next one. Anil had bought the book before he read it. So Anil is the subject, then had, and then the past participle, both. And in the second part of the sentence, before he read it. And the simple tense of read is read. The plane had left by the time I got to the airport. Again, the first part of this sentence is in the past perfect tense. The plane had left. This is the past participle of leave. The second part is I got to the airport. Here, got is the past tense of get. In these three sentences, we have in common using common word before or by the time. That means the verb that is in the past perfect tense happened first. The verb that is in the past simple tense happened after. So let us see the first example. Before I moved there, that happened later. Before that, I had already visited China. Now, do you understand how that works? But what is there in the last sentence? When they arrived, we had already started the game. So maybe they were late or something had happened. But when they arrived, that is the past simple tense. So this happened second. We had already started the game. This action had already started. It started before this action. Let us move on. Early, I mentioned that the past perfect tense can be used to describe an action that happened in the past before another action in the past. We can do the same thing but also emphasize the duration. How long that first action happened. And we do this by using for and a duration. So let's have a look. I had owned my computer for 3 months before it broke. So here both the action happened in the past. I had and the past participle of the verb. This part shows the action that happened earlier in the past. The second part is broken. That is a past simple tense verb. Shows the action that happened also in the past. That happened later than the other action. And you will notice in this sentence there is a duration of 3 months. This duration shows how long that action happened. Let us take a look at the next one. Sarah had been lonely for a long time until she got a puppy. Here we have a subject and then had and the past participle. And then we have the past simple. She got a puppy. All we are doing here is to emphasize how long the first action had been happening. She had been lonely for a long time. That is until the later action to get a puppy. Finally, we have she and I had been friends for many years before she became my wife. The first part of this sentence is the past perfect. It happened before she became a wife. And here the duration is for many years. Now let us move to how to form the negative in the past perfect tense. Let us have a look. I had not eaten at the restaurant before I went yesterday. Again, we have the past perfect tense here and the past simple tense here. This one, the action that happened early in the past, and this other one is the action that happened later in the past. However, because this is the negative, what I am going to do is to add not between the had and the past participle of the verb. So I say I had not eaten, or I can use the contraction of hadn't eaten. The next sentence. She had not been to the circus before she went last week. Here is the action that happened early in the past, and there is the action that happened later in the past. However, again, because it is negative, I put not between had and the past participle of the verb. I can also use the contraction form she hadn't. Now let us take a look at a question using had in the past perfect tense. Take a look here. First sentence says she had eaten lunch by noon. Now to turn it into a question, it is quite easy. All you have to do is changing the first two words. Had she eaten lunch by noon? And the answer could be yes, she had, or no, she hadn't. The next one. It had rained before they left. Again, we have to switch the order of the first two words. Had it rained before they left? The answer could be yes, it had, or no, it hadn't. Now, let us go into how to form WH question in the past perfect tense. Let us have a look. Here we have where, who, what, how long. Let us take a look at the first question. Where had he traveled before? You'll notice after WH question we have the word had and then the subject and then the past participle of the verb. Where had he traveled before? The next one, who had she talked to before? It is the same thing. WH question and then had she followed by the past participle verb. You will notice here that we have used the word before, but we did not write any specific moment or time. If you see that, it simply means before now. The next question says, what had he eaten before lunch? Again, we followed this same formula. However, here it used before lunch. The last one is, how long had she known him before she dated him? Again, your WH question, how long, then had, she, and then known, that is the verb, past participle. Let us take a look about the answer. Let us have a look here. Where had he traveled before? The answer could be he had traveled to Europe. The next one, who had she talked to before? The answer could be she had talked to her brother. Next, what had he eaten before lunch? The answer could be he had eaten burger. The last one, how long had she known him before she dated him? The answer could be she had known him for 3-4 years. And that's all for this lesson. Do more practice. Love and peace to all.